but the regular housing market seems to be coming back. It feels like for the first time since probably 2014, we might enter or are entering a regular spring market.
TK.
Are we gonna restart?
We have to restart.
Okay, we have to restart. Okay.
It sounded like Mr. Roboto there. That's okay.
All right. Daryl, today
morning.
is the day.
The day.
It's the Canadian Real Estate Show Extravaganza. Oh my gosh.
Oh my God. And
we have
listen,
the best guest ever today.
We're pumping out a lot of content. And just in case, like, you haven't seen enough of me and TK, I'm going to be, well, if you're watching this, you may have already seen me on the Tom Story Show today.
You just recorded it.
Just recorded it, and it's going to air the same day as this is going to air. So a few hours prior. So just in case, there's not enough me floating around the internet right now.
Well, what I noticed on all the shorts is when I was looking on my phone, they were all like super just like close-ups of your face, right? Like each one of them, because it's like portrait. I'm just looking and it's just like this big face that Daryl's just like, and then I think that and then you know, and I'm like,
it's both of us though. They're big close-ups of you too.
But it's always usually your face first, right? In the clip when you're like the thumbnail or whatever you want to call it, like that. The advertisement for it before you select it.
You don't get to pick that.
Yeah, you don't get to pick that. So it's always just like a big close-up. So, you know, thankfully we use the filters that we use, right?
Thank God, because if it was really
man, if people found out how old I really was, I'd be in trouble.
Jesus.
So let's get our guest on today to see what's going on, because
I'm excited.
I mean, he's got a better channel than us. He's got a more informative podcast. He's better looking. It's just all around, more informative.
I think he has the best edited videos in Canadian real estate by a landslide.
What a title. What a title.
This guy's the king of editing.
Which building do you think he's in our background? Which building?
He used our background. Look at this. He's the first person to ever use the background.
Yeah.
I was actually long. No, don't. I like your background. I was actually just noticing today. You went back to your old background. You got rid of the gym. I don't know. We got the cat back. The cat was in the background in today's video.
That's just watch this. Hang on. I'm going to blow you guys away.
No.
Whoa. No. But that's the gym. That's the new background.
Now I'm going to make it even better. Watch this.
Oh my gosh.
You know where this is?
No, because you're covering the whole
Tower,
thing.
1993.
This is the beautiful city of Surrey, BC.
Surrey, BC. Is that where you are?
I looked up where Surrey, BC was the other day.
I thought you were in the Fraser Valley.
That is a city in the Fraser Valley. Yeah.
Got it.
Steve, I looked it up because someone messaged me about something in BC, and I was just like, can't remember where they were talking about, but it was a place that I didn't know. And so I thought, hey, I better go check it out. Maybe Steve lives near there and he could give me some answers. But it turns out Surrey, like basically you're in Vancouver.
Yeah.
Why do you keep pretending it's Surrey? It's Vancouver. It's like me pretending in Scarborough that I'm I'm not in Toronto.
Well, I don't want to service Vancouver, right? You're a 40 minute drive away. And here I live in a market that probably most of the working class actually lives in. I can't afford Vancouver.
I can't afford Vancouver either.
Right. So
technically we can't even afford the houses we're in right now. Right.
Yeah.
Right. If you look, most people can't afford the houses that they're in right now. You could not go and your house bought it for 400 and now it's worth 1.6. Today, you wouldn't qualify to buy it. You'd be screwed. Right.
I definitely wouldn't want to take on the payment.
That's
the thing. It's the payment. It's not even
most people can't qualify for their homes.
Yeah.
Today's prices. There's not.
Is it even worth trying in some cases?
Most people can't qualify for their homes if they had to move into them today and just come up with
LTV
the down
and all that kind of stuff. Exactly.
Come up with the down payment. Yeah. Right. Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. They're not doing it. I'm going to rent. I'm going to move to Surrey.
You should move to Surrey. I know a guy.
I think everyone should move to Surrey.
Is there that significant a discount to live in Surrey versus Vancouver?
It's back. Thankfully, it's back now.
What's back?
The discount.
The discount. Yeah.
The discount is back.
Eroded last year, right?
Yeah.
Like you could actually get into detached in Vancouver and Surrey for about the same price last year. Now, different classes of homes or whatever, but still detached, right?
Wow.
So it's back. It's we have this thing like you guys do, except we can only go in one direction, right? Like you guys can go out from the downtown Toronto core and then go out in 3 different directions. We can only go east.
I get it, because
Right.
south is the States. Why not north?
Mountains. There's these little beautiful
mountains.
I don't know if you can
TK,
see them from your window
this.
seat.
Mountains. Yeah,
I can see them behind you guys right now.
Yeah. I just don't know which way is east or west. I'm a little.
But
bit
if you
lost
actually
here.
look in the
Which way are we
picture behind
facing?
me, that's the ocean right there.
Yes. Yeah.
And then you got, Victoria and everything over there. So
Somebody's going to start figuring things out with this whole ocean thing. You know what I mean? Like people are going to be able to live. I saw a picture of like an artist concept of like 100 years ago. And they're like, what will it be like in, I don't know, 2000 or whatever it was. And it was a bunch of people on the ocean living, but they had little balloons tied to them so that they could float, and they could just be, they were like riding horseback carriages on the water, and they were just walking on the water. And eventually we'll just
came
be
up
water
with
people.
that idea. Was that like Kevin Costner?
Kevin Costner, Waterworld.
Well, this was like 100-year-old
this
drawing,
is-
but
this
possibly
is
it could have been him.
this could be the end game of the housing crisis, right? Like that could be the affordable housing that we're craving. It could be water-based housing. What about if
we have
started,
float homes?
Degree
we
water
have
view.
float homes. We got float homes on the river.
What about
I would never buy a
condoing-
house that would sink.
What about condoing like cruise ships?
Oh,
That's
Let's
fucking
do it.
cool, no?
let's launch a fund. Who wants to buy a unit?
I would buy a
mean,
unit on that. No?
Right?
Not me.
I
Year-long
totally would buy a unit.
cruise?
I guarantee someone's already done that, Daryl. That's not a unique enough idea that somebody in
Generally,
Dubai
yeah.
hasn't already condoed a boat somewhere.
Generally, my ideas are not that unique.
There must be timeshare cruise ships, no?
Has to be. Like, there has to
Timeshare
be.
cruise
There's
ships.
just no
There's
way
gotta
that
be.
somebody out there doesn't say, I own a suite at this boat and I just have to fly in to be able to land on it at any time I want.
Yeah.
They got a helicopter, those guys.
That's like a private yacht. Anyway,
Helicopter comes with the suite.
What are we talking about here, guys? This is crazy. Canadian
Some people
real
get
estate show.
TVs, other people get helicopters. Sorry.
This is a
We
perfect
digress.
time if anybody's still left watching to hit that subscribe button and the like button and make a comment.
Yeah.
Look, we're lucky enough. Look, we got the co-host of the best Canadian real estate show on Saturday mornings at 9.
Sunday mornings at 9.
Sunday.
a.m.
Did I say Saturday?
Sunday.
Sunday mornings
Yeah.
at 9.
Yeah.
I like their show much more than ours, TK.
Yeah, a little different feel, hey?
They're
It's a
just
little bit
smarter and more like well polished, that's all.
I feel like I have to
That's
be
it.
in the mood to learn something though to watch their show. Like I can't just be in the mood to listen to like I have to focus. Like there's nuggets
Well,
there, There's
Daryl, I don't know
nuggets
if
there.
you know, Daryl, this week though,
This
had a
week it's
pretty
worth
good guest.
ignoring.
Whoa.
We had a pretty good guest this week, so you may want to go and check it out.
Yeah.
I
So
hope
check out Steve's channel, check out the Tom Story Show. It's all going to be linked into the details of this video, but we're just happy to have him today to talk to us and chit chat. So what's the update, Steve? What's going on out there? We're starting to see listings. We're starting to see buyers. We're starting to see multiple offers again. Like what's happening out in Surrey, BC?
Same, and it seems to be that way everywhere. From who we're talking to across the whole country, it seems to be multiple offers, but not nuts, right? 3, 4 multiple offers, asking price-ish, unless we're getting into one of my big pet peeves is the extreme underlist for no good reason. But yeah, it looks like there's a bunch of people coming out of the woodwork and they're saying, yeah, now's the time. Turns out I want to, live inside. Roofs are pretty cool. And it appears to be that they're coming back. And at the exact same time, I'm starting to get those calls of like what you were mentioning, hey, I got this place. I can't really complete on it. Right. Couple of those calls. We've had most of our developers here do not allow assignments, but the ones that do, those assignments are all coming up. For sure, you're starting to see them. I don't deal with that. Generally speaking, I like to avoid pre-con or assignments as much as possible because I don't think they're They're too risky for my like. But the regular housing market seems to be coming back. It feels like for the first time since probably 2014, we might enter or are entering a regular spring market. And
oh my gosh.
most
that?
agents out there don't know what that is because they
What
haven't
is
been
that?
licensed since 2014.
That's actually true.
It's what we're going through right now. It's an increase in
This is regular.
buyer
You guys feel like
demand.
this is a regular market, normal market.
New listings coming up based strictly on the weather.
Isn't it confused?
Darryl, it's 60% of our year in between, let's call it March and May or June. Like that's where you make 60% of your money as an agent in a regular market. So when I got into the business, summer was Deadsville. Like December was get ready for December, and all the lazy agents, take the time off in those times. And then you do have those regular markets, right? You do return to, for us, it starts probably a little bit earlier because we don't have snow, except for this year. But then you go into March through June and you go through craziness, and then you get to get a tan in the summer and prep for September through November again.
4 months.
Head up to the cottage, relax.
That's
Yeah,
it.
You guys
normal.
have cottages though. We don't have cottages. We have Whistler. And I looked up last summer. I was in Whistler, and I looked up the values, and I was just blown away. Like it's next level ridiculous expensive up there.
What do people do though? So they go to Whistler, just like timeshares, rent a place, Airbnb, hotels, resorts, that kind of stuff.
Mostly hotels and resorts. I think Whistler's cracked down on the Airbnb stuff.
Okay. So, but that's the typical migration for the summer is everyone just goes to the mountains. And what do you do in the summertime at the mountains in Whistler?
They've done a great job. I do nothing besides sit on the patio and drink, but they've done a great job with turning all the ski hills into downhill bike courses. So it's actually, I think, now becoming almost even busier in the summer than it is in the winter.
Wow.
Downhill.
That's impressive.
Bike courses? Is that
the
what
hospital's
you said?
super busy.
Who the hell is riding?
No joke, TK. You hit the nail on the head. Like all these tourists are up there and they go rent a bike, and then they'll come down a double black diamond. Yeah. And almost kill themselves.
Yeah. They just have spare collarbones at the hospital, just like ready for people. Just like, here, you get a new one. You get a new one.
What do you need a collarbone
elbows, and concussions.
Yeah.
Oh, that must make for some great video footage, though, like fails footage. Set up cameras all along the mountains.
I'm sure there's plenty of GoPro action for that. But TK, are you experiencing the same thing?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm sure you're getting updates from Tom, and so we're going through the same market here in the city, and it's just everyone's calling the list right now. We're loading up like dozens of listings every week, and we're selling more properties. We're doing all sorts of stuff that we haven't done for a while, just like this. And but I'm also getting those other calls. I had another call today. 2 mortgages on the property, bought a pre-con, underwater on the pre-con, equities drying up in the resale, looking for a 3rd mortgage in order to put the last deposit down on the pre-con.
Why do they call you though, looking for a 3rd mortgage?
Because they called everybody else and everyone said no. And so it's always just, hey, everyone else has said no. What can you do for me? Right. So I know
TK said on the last episode that he lends out money stupidly sometimes.
I'm the stupid lender. Yeah.
That's why you're going to get you.
I'm not a professional private lender. I'm the guy who takes
lender
the
of last
You actually
resort.
lend out your own cash for more than like, say, a short period
not long term, short term. Just like we've got a sale, you've got a deposit, you need to go, like, just things like that. Client solutions.
I have a friend who lends out lots of money.
Our team does mortgages. So we'll do, like, I do them, the small ones for the short term, but our team, if you need to buy, so what they'll do is, if you have a home, so let's say you need to close on a home and you bought it for 800,000, and then we have to sell your home. So you give us the listing, we cross collateralize the mortgage on the new property that we help you close. We bridge finance it. And then you have it obviously registered on your property. The rates are super, super reasonable. And, I mean, it's there to facilitate the transaction for us, because we're the ones, getting the listing at the end. And it's definitely case by case. And then, of course, the person doesn't have to worry because they've bought the home that they want to buy. And if they went to a private lender, the fees are what now, 3 to 5% broker lender fees. And then the rates are 12%. Like, we're nowhere close to that. So it's a fantastic offer.
Well,
we're getting the listing.
TK. My goal is to say TK more than Darryl says TK today.
Okay. I like this.
TK.
Compete.
On our show, we had a guest on, and he said it is the over leveraged people that get destroyed. Right. It is those people that have taken ridiculous risks without a bunch of probably not knowledge. Right. Like these aren't the savvy investors. These are these are people that have gone in thinking that, the real estate condo or whatever condo pre-sale, whatever they're doing is, the next Bitcoin or Dogecoin or whatever.
No, but you see, TK, there's a fine line, TK, between like stupidity and genius in a bull market, right?
No, it's called high risk, high reward.
Listen, but some of them or some of us, depending on the timing, end up being revered as geniuses, right? But you hit something at the wrong time, man, and you're a total idiot. Mm-hmm. You're a total idiot.
And most equity is the main question, though. Really, equity is everything. If there's no equity in the deal, it's no one's going to touch it, and no one should touch it. If there's equity, but it's just like the circumstances are very challenging, so like there's, maybe no way that they could make those payments or something like that, but the equity is there. So as long as at the end of the day, there's a path where you're going to get your money back, I think that there's lots of great lending opportunities out there.
Some of these lenders are lending knowing that there's a likely chance that you're going to default at some point in time and they're going to take the property. Look, you don't put a third mortgage on something because you're like a really nice guy, right? Like you're just trying to help people out.
I don't even see thirds, man. I rarely, like maybe once every 3 or 4 years, I see a second.
Wow. That's crazy. That's
like I specifically,
line of credit though. What about a first mortgage and a line of credit? That's a second.
Generally, they'll be tied together as the same charge on title, right? So if you go to Scotiabank and you get a line of credit and a mortgage, it's the same charge. So yeah, that's one mortgage, but a second coming in with private money at 12% or something.
It's interesting.
Those people are usually people that have invested that money into a business. The business is gone. And that's now why they're going to lose their real estate, right? They're not losing their real estate because they bought at the peak of the market with a 12%. They've made other risky decisions along the way.
I swear to God, like the people that I see, they bought like a boat and they had to like, pay off some other loans or something. Like none of them are business ever. It's never like I made this great savvy decision. And professional investors, okay, I get it, but they're not coming to me to sell their property afterwards because they're doing okay. Like they're servicing the debt. The people who come to me are like, well, I bought a boat and now that payment's due and I don't have the money and now it's time to sell. And I swear second mortgages is like very common.
And the other side of things is I was just thinking about when we were just a couple seconds ago there is when these people are making the money on the way up, a lot of these guys think that they've done a really good job with their flip. And honestly,
you mean quality wise?
Yeah. Like I bought this place. I renovated it. Look at my amazing renovations.
And hey, I'm a general contractor now too.
You are. I heard that.
No, I mean not me. I mean the guy who does the flip.
Oh, right? I heard that somewhere recently. So yeah, they're a general contractor. Let's say they buy the house for $1 million and they put in $150,000 and they're gonna whatever, and they end up selling it for 1.3 and they're like, wow, my renovation's worth $150,000 over my cost. But if they held that property and did nothing, they probably would have got 250 right over. So like they would have sold for 1.25, let's say. So their renovation actually didn't do a damn thing. And now there's all these guys that have fooled themselves into thinking that is a viable business.
Exactly. A viable strategy.
I have clients that felt like that is probably a much more common phone call I get from a buyer, past client, whatever. And it'll be like, I'm looking to, I want to buy something and flip it. Right, renovate it and flip it. And I'm like, well, how much do you want to lose? Well, my friend did this and my friend did that. And I'm like, your friend bought at the lower point and sold at the higher point. Currently, prices are going in the other direction. So your chances of doing that are extremely slim. And you're better off just to buy a okay house, put a tenant in it, wait for the market to go up, and do no renovations at all.
I 100% agree.
That's what I wish I did back in 2008, man. Like, fuck, I should have just rented.
I did the math. I spent like $100,000, maybe more or less. I don't know. But I did the math backwards after I sold and what my house would have been worth if I had done no renos, and I profited more by not doing any renos than I would have than I did because I renovated it.
There's a guy on my street, TK, and he's literally got the like he's that one bad one on the street, right? He's got like recycling boxes and a bike frame on his front porch. Like he's that guy. His house is worth within $50,000 of my house.
Yeah.
Right.
Land is worth more than anything else.
Ours is fully taken care of. Land and then size of the property, right? So or size of the actual structure. Those are the first two things. So these guys have fooled themselves. All this, what's the internet thing? BRRRRR. Yeah.
By
man. All the power to you, I guess. Maybe that works in Saskatoon, but it ain't working here.
Multifamily, when it's income based approach, when you're appraising it afterwards. But
I never believe anybody's numbers anyways.
Residential based, and it's all just comps. So
when these guys come on and they say I put in $100,000, like it was probably 180, and the numbers don't really totally make sense, but it's like it sounds better, right? But it really is a sucker's game. If you just kind of hold with a tenant, you probably end up in a similar place. Maybe you have to hold a little longer, but in the right market, it's very enticing to make these big chunks of money in a short amount of time. And you have people on TV for years, like HGTV was basically brought into existence to show people that you can make money flipping stuff, right? Or improving stuff, right? You can increase the value or whatever. Like the whole channel is basically that. So, and then they show people doing quite well doing that. And to be honest, I mean, I've done a few flips that didn't go awry, and they were quite nice, right? And I did quite nicely. But the market's different. Well, listen, the market was definitely part of it. There's no doubt about it. But I mean, you do have to buy at a certain price to be able to sell at a certain price and forecast and do it in the right amount of time and do it for the right amount of money. You know, like it can run away from you pretty quickly, right? Especially if you don't know what you're doing. It can run away really quickly, and then people smell that you're a rookie. So guess what happens?
They're starting to close loopholes on all that too, right? With like the no flipping taxes and all this stuff that's coming into play, because there's a bunch of those people that said, oh, this is my principal residence. And well, if I flipped it and didn't move into it, that would have been income tax. But now it's capital gain free because it's my principal residence. Well, the feds now are saying, yeah, we're not going that way anymore. We're going now, if you move within a certain amount of time, guess what? That's also income tax.
Any gains you made are going to be
and that kills it.
Taxable.
Completely kills the deal. Trust me. Like most people are not planning on paying that tax.
If you're on a 20% margin, you just lost it to the government.
Gone.
Right? Yeah.
Gonzo.
So I have a couple that are come to us after they've had this amazing business plan. And not only is there no money to be made, but there was actually lenders last year who were giving people over leveraged property. So they were financing them at like 110, 120% loan to value, saying, we trust you. You're going to do the renovations, and you bought at X and you need the money for renovations. We'll give you more money than you even paid for the house so that you have the money to renovate, because we think it's going to be worth more after you're done. That was a mortgage. That was a product that was out there.
And that is like that is like 2006 American stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like, I knew guys. So one of my best friends is a realtor in Seattle, and they were literally handing out loans at 110 to 120% of value.
Yeah.
And
that is where you get in really bad shape.
I trust you. You'll get the renovations done. You know what you're doing. You're going to use that.
Who's lending?
You're not going to go to the casino with that money.
What idiot is lending that money?
Mix. The ones that I know about are Mix.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man. Even the most that I can find here, the most like aggressive Mix are still like it's got to be 75%.
Yeah. This
75% of what?
Now,
purchase or current value?
Purchase.
Current value. Well,
right.
Current value, right?
Same thing whenever you're doing
usually it's the same thing. Yeah. But the one that I know about was in Alberta too. It was a lender that was out in Alberta. But I just heard about it. There's also private lenders and stuff like that who are doing all that type of stuff. But But yeah, there's definitely a lot of scary things like that coming. So there's still a ton of mess to clean up. So are you seeing any of those messes right now? Like, I don't know, maybe our market's different. You're saying people don't have second mortgages. We got second mortgages on half the properties that
I see on every like light post, third mortgages. Call me.
You know,
in Arabic.
I don't know.
I definitely do not see that here. So I have through kind of being mentored through my business partner over the years, I've had a really tight connection with a bankruptcy trustee. So I've been dealing with bankruptcies since, let's call it 2010. I know them quite well. I haven't done one since, let's call it 2017, maybe was the last one, because everybody can just cash and sell out. But when I talk to him, actually, I'm trying to get him on our show, but I don't know if he'll do it. When I talk to him, there's very scary stories. There are tons of people that have very, very, very scary stories. But here's one thing that he's noticed that he told me is there is no appetite, zero appetite right now for the CRA to collect. And usually a lot of his clients are, the debt is owed to the CRA. So if the CRA stops calling, what motivation do you have to sell? Right? What motivation do you have? So a big issue that we had is when lockdown happened, his phones dried up because at that point, people could defer mortgages, do all sorts of things, but the collectors stopped collecting. And at some point, that appetite, I would assume, has to come back. So these people have, and here's an example.
That's a dangerous situation.
But is it, Darryl? Watch this. So one guy, he tells me the story of one particular guy, and he had a property. He owed the CRA, I don't know, let's put a number on it, $400,000. He's got to go bankrupt. This is February 2020. And then just 6 months ago, he follows up with the guy. He sold the property, paid off his mortgage, paid off the CRA, paid off absolutely everybody. Actually, I don't know if he paid off the CRA or if he's just got that money sitting there waiting for the CRA to ask for it again. But he because of the run up in the market, he cleared all his debts. So that was somebody that was going to go bankrupt. But they now have avoided it completely by selling their property to somebody else who I'm going to assume can afford it. And they were able to clear everything up. So they're not going bankrupt. We used to do 3 or 4 bankruptcies every year. Like let's call it 2010 through 2016, 2017. We're not seeing them. I think they're coming back.
Or maybe we're going to avoid it now. Doesn't it sound like prices are ticking up again? I know they are here.
Prices are going up again.
Yeah. So what the fuck? So hold on a second. Now let's imagine.
We need a new excuse of why the market can't recover. It's Head and Shoulders, Darryl. It's Head and Shoulders. We need a new.
Shoulders. What the fuck is
that? And then
mean?
after Head and Shoulders, we're going to go
TK.
knees and toes.
What's
he
talking about?
I don't know.
Dandruff?
What's going on here? What are we talking about?
What is it?
You don't know Head and Shoulders? Oh,
No.
come on. You guys got to
Like
watch
knees
some
and
more.
toes?
Some more.
Is that internet slang?
It is. Well, it's stock market slang. So it's the recovery of, like, you shoot up, you kind of even out, you go up again, then you come down, and then it evens out. And now they're expecting that it has to go down again. It's a stock market thing.
Isn't this like the bull trap? Is that the dead cat bounce, or is this a new one?
Yeah, it's
are we learning here today?
I'm learning right now.
What is going on? Head and shoulders,
knees and
toes.
You
need a new one.
Looks like this.
When the market doesn't go in your negative direction that you want it to go, you need an excuse of why that is.
You need to tell you why. This is why.
Where's
just like I'm a realtor. Yeah. I'm a realtor. I need to tell myself why the market's always going to go up, right? So
the negative comments have shifted recently, have they not?
Well, because
have you not?
we've
Trent disappeared lately. I don't know where he went.
I hope he's okay.
I hope he's okay. Or she.
But I think that, probably because what we've been reporting on lately has been mostly, supporting their narrative. So it's just, we're trying to call it as it is.
How are prices going up? It's crazy.
Now
every
prices
bank
are,
in the
so
world is failing right now. What's going on?
There's a lot of stuff brewing in this storm. Like, so Steve, you're not seeing it, but by the sound of your tone, your people are not in trouble in Surrey, BC. People are paying their mortgages, no problem. The people who bought last year, the variable rate's not killing them. Is that?
There's a chance I'm insulated, and there's a chance I'm insulated because I think we take a really kind of like maybe I'm only seeing the people that are getting the right education and knowing to do the right things. There are probably a bunch of people out there that are being told, yeah, you should still go buy a pre-con right now. It would be awesome. You're going to make like, there's probably that. I think there is definitely some bias there that I see, even, you know, in hanging out with the agents that I do, I'm probably for sure biased towards the overwhelming positivity, right? Because I usually hang out with people that are doing business and not, you know, people scrambling for a check.
There's also not as many of them out there, TK. It's like a totally different ballgame. You talk to people here and like 78,000 of them are not doing well right now, right? But 2,000 are doing just fine, which is like probably equivalent out there. There's probably 2,000 guys doing just fine out there.
Everybody's doing a lot less this year, which is what you would expect. Sales are down. You're going to do a lot less. I don't know what the guys are doing that are, you know, if you did 10 deals last year, I don't know what you're doing this year.
2.
Right. If you're lucky.
Yeah.
Right?
How do you survive? How do you guys survive? If you're going to on 20%,
I mean, I don't think
are people used to what they did last couple of years, or is that just everybody's written that off as an anomaly?
Our commissions are a lot lower out here, right? So like a ton, like half. So generally speaking, in BC, we're fighting over 2.5 to 3% between the two agents.
What?
Right?
What?
So a lot of the people that you see in real estate, this is becoming less so now, but when I got into the business, a lot of the really successful guys driving nice cars and all that stuff, they didn't make their money selling real estate. They made their money investing in real estate. They made their money doing something else. And then they came into real estate. But generally speaking, like we don't have the fees. Like luckily, we don't have the same expenses either, because we don't do things like, you know, stage a house for $5,000. But like our buy side is like 1.15%, and that's a full commission, right? Our sale side is like whatever the other side of that is, 1.35%. Plus, like there's a little bonus on the first 100,000, so it's like $3,000 or $4,000, whatever. But it's a way smaller commission structure. So when I'm talking to guys, like I know some guys out in what is it near you guys, Oakville, and that's from my understanding, expensive real estate.
Yep,
have some expensive neighborhoods.
You know, and these guys are double ending, which we can't do. Double ending properties at $5 million,
5%
at 5%. Right. So that is not our reality out here.
What the hell's going on? TK, you holding out on us, TK? What the fuck's going on here?
Look, the market drives. I think commissions are too high in Toronto.
Bats.
I'm not here to tell you otherwise.
This is crazy.
I think
but do you know why
market dictates that though? Right?
What happens in BC when the automation comes into your commissions? Because everybody's talking like at some point commissions are going to get cut because. Right. You've even said that before, TK, like commissions are getting cut at some point in the future for sure. Right. Just because of technology, right?
Deflationary for commissions for sure.
For sure. So you guys are fucked out there.
I actually 100% disagree with that comment.
Perfect. Let's go.
100%. I'll give you two things. I'm going to make notes here. First is how we got here. And then second is why we won't go down.
Okay.
So how we got here, BC used to have 7%. Across the board.
Well, that's a major smackdown.
Right? No, but what they did is when house prices got to the unimaginable price of $100,000, agents went, crazy. I don't feel good about charging this much
with
more.
a good conscience. I can't.
So I'm only going to charge 7% on the first 100,000. And then I'm going to charge 2.5% on the balance.
Were these guys are BC, like they're on
Alberta,
mushrooms
like that,
and smoking weed and all nice to everybody.
That's exactly who's doing it. Yeah.
Right.
So that's what they did though. Cause there was so much pushback that we can't go 7%. You guys are like Ontario at the time was mostly 6%. So you couldn't do that. Right. So they were like, okay, we got so much pushback. We're going to go down to 2.5% on the balance. And then it's always been 46% goes to the buyer's agent. 54% goes, to the listing agent or listing team or whatever, right? So that's always been the split. So 7.25 was the regular Competition Bureau, don't sue me, the regular commission you would see here. But since competition has increased, since I've been in the business, that is now 7.3. And the reason for that is there's so much competition that the listing agent has to put in so much more marketing into the property to win the listing that they have to charge more. So
win the listing.
So competition should drag our fees down because more people offering more service means there's going to be a cheaper way to do it. But competition currently in its current state here in BC anyway, has created so much that agents had to charge more. Otherwise they couldn't make any money. Right. And they got fewer listings, so they had to charge more. And the expectation out of the agent and the marketing became greater, right? Like when I got in the business, 2009, you would, get a point and click Nikon camera and you would go take your own photos. That doesn't happen anymore. Well, that does happen still, but those guys don't get any business. And everybody else is like, videos and whatever, drone footage and whatever. So when you bring in all that competition to say, hey, hopefully we can get prices down, it has actually done the opposite here. So we have the lowest commissions, but they are going up as a result of probably too many people in the business.
And I don't disagree with what you said there, because actually the same thing has probably happened here as more people are adding in all these little fluff things like, I'm going to decorate your home with pillows and I'm going to put a blanket and his towels are going to go over top of the edge of the bathtub. And, you're going to pay me thousands of dollars for this, and the fake fruit and all that stuff. And then, other videos and things. And we're going to do
TK.
So that commissions have gone up because of that in those markets, actually.
Totally. So one of the things, I'm going to say TK at least 10 more times.
That's okay.
One of,
I approve.
One of the things, for instance, like if I was listing your place, TK, what we would do is I would come in, okay, I'm 5% or whatever, but like you got trouble. There's like, it's a mess. It needs painted, whatever. Tell you what, TK, 6%, and I'll send in my painter. I'll send in my cleaning crew, whatever.
Exactly.
So as you add more services that the client needs or thinks they need, you can continue to charge more. And the expectation is now that you do charge more.
So I'm one of those guys where I know my opinions change quickly, and so I'm not going to hang on to for dear life on my opinion about technology being deflationary here, because you bring up great points. And so maybe I'm wrong, but my point was basically because of technology, it's going to make realtors' jobs easier. So it means that, maybe, and I'm talking about like tech here. I'm not going into like 2025 here. I'm talking about like 2030, 2040, where we could do more virtual showings, where we're utilizing more VR or augmented reality. We've got virtual assistants. We've got, tools that are able to really make the business model of real estate more efficient. And because it's going to be very highly tech leverage, it's going to eliminate a lot of people who aren't going to be able to compete with those people, because the younger people now are going to be very like tech centric, where they're like, I have to get those services. Otherwise, who are you? You're a dinosaur. I don't even want to deal with you. And so it'll create a smaller market for people, which means that agents could have less competition, which would mean that they could afford to charge less per, because their time is being leveraged, and therefore create a better opportunity for more young savvy buyers who want to pay less commission. And everybody wins, because if I'm doing more business, but I'm charging less, but I'm not using more time because I'm leveraging technology, I make the same amount of money at the end of the year. Everybody wins. So that was my sort of take on it.
So yeah, technology is obviously going to be deflationary. When people say, okay, it's going to come in and revolutionize our industry, I say I need to see what it is first, because I don't get it. Because I think the people working on the technology in our industry don't know the industry. They just have this crazy idea of like, wouldn't it be cool if I could slap on my VR and see 6 houses today? Yeah, that would be cool. But
I'd buy it. But a real buyer's like, what? I don't even get to see the house. What am I walking through?
Totally. So when I'm working with that buyer, like they want to go see it, they want to go touch it. I was joking with a friend of mine that actually works in real estate development tech. And I was like, okay, but what about the smell in the house? And now his answer is a good one. One day they are going to come up with a device that goes in there, smells the house for you while you're doing the virtual tour, and sends it to you. Maybe. Is that here today?
If that's an idea, it's going to come. Not for a while, but it's coming.
They're going to have it on that so you can smell that.
They built the pyramids. Okay, we're going to figure this one out.
But that, like, I just don't see it in the way people are thinking about it. It is not going to be, let me just buy a house with a click. I don't think that is where we're going to go. Will there be tools brought in so the people can be better educated and the agents can provide better service? For sure. But there has to be some sort of incentive to bring those people or to use that service. And I'm not seeing it yet.
We have a guy, Art Dadson, very quickly, New Brunswick, investment focused realtor, sold hundreds of homes, one of the top agents in New Brunswick, probably. Like he does really well. Doesn't show any houses to any buyers at all. He only sells to out of province buyers through video tours that he records with his GoPro and everything else like that. His whole model from day one, he got into the business as an investor and started to find a service, and he's like a top realtor. So there are people out there. Check out
that's
the video we did with Art. It's right here.
That's what Steve's saying though. The difference with Art is Art's an investor who got into real estate, and he's doing it in a way where he needs it done, and he's providing the same service to people like him, right?
But
whereas a lot of
let's say this, he's also providing probably to investors who have a little bit more money to burn usually. And is he doing it at Toronto or Vancouver value price properties?
No.
Right. I've seen what can you get in New Brunswick for 200 grand, 20 acres?
He's doing investment properties. So some of them are millions of dollars because they're 30 units or whatever, but they're definitely a different type of buyer. I totally agree. So some of them maybe we need the smell-o-meter to do the end users, right?
Yeah. So it's coming. I would be silly to say it's never coming, but I don't see it now. And I've never seen anything that's like, that is better, because when my clients come to me, they're like, how quickly can I go see this house? Not how fast can you get me the virtual tour?
Yeah. I think we changed our position, TK, or at least I remember I did. I'm pretty sure you came along.
All of our decisions, are they like jointly like,
well, eventually we recognize that I'm right and you just kind of follow suit.
And then I follow suit.
Okay. Right. So, but no, I think who said it? You said it. I think it's going to be an enhancement, not a replacement. Right. And it's these softwares and services that will enhance the customer experience while making the realtor's time more efficient. Right. That will change the marketplace, right? As well as
where where things like AI are doing well right now that nobody really sees coming. AI can write a very good contract.
Oh, I used ChatGPT to make clauses in real estate.
Here's what they can't do. Here's what AI can't do. AI can't go to the property to make sure those clauses fit the property. Not at least yet. They can't get into the crawl space or whatnot, right? So there's a lot that I think will, but these are going to be services that real estate agents will have to pay for. Therefore, fees might go up.
There's a good argument there. Definitely,
fees might go up.
Fees might go up, but
not in Ontario where you guys already charge double. But you know.
Honestly, I've heard it from nationwide realtors that Toronto, like there's a guy in Alberta and he was just joking. Like every time he was talking about Toronto Realtors Commission, he's like, Toronto agents sell 4 houses and they retire and all that kind of stuff, because literally, like there's it's a huge cash cow, and that needs to change. I don't agree with that at all. I think that somebody who comes into the business, knows nothing, sells a few houses, makes way more money than anybody could imagine making in a short period of time. It doesn't just seem like a sustainable industry, and that there's lots of flaws with that in so many ways.
Since we're on this topic, let me share with you a revolutionary idea in the real estate space that would for sure bring down costs and would be a complete failure.
Okay.
So why is there not a real estate brokerage that offers a la carte? So TK,
like
you want to go,
What is a la
Tell me-
carte?
yeah,
Like what
I-
services?
No. Yeah, I get what
A
you're
la
saying,
carte.
but tell me why there isn't. I assume that there
So,
are real estate brokerages that
there's one
offer.
reason why there's not. So
Sure.
TK,
Yeah.
you want to list your house and you go, okay, you know what? All I need is MLS. So I'm going to pay $500 for that. $350 for photos. I want some flyers in the house. So there's another $79, like each piece, right? I'm going to want somebody to hold an open house. So that's $299. Whatever. So keep stacking those services. Negotiating the offers probably going to be $200
It's called Purple
an hour.
Bricks
Yeah,
/ Fair Square, and they just
like
closed down. That was exactly what their model was.
Okay, so we don't have that out here, so I don't know.
Yeah.
So here's why it won't work. Because now I have to, as the seller, I have to pay that fee no matter what.
Up front. Yeah. And then they closed down. They just closed down. Like it's literally what you called it. You just predicted the past.
So what we thank you. But
you read the news.
I thought they were just like a low fee, but anyway,
they offered it. They'll say like, how many times do you want us to come out? There was different options. It wasn't exactly what you described, but it was definitely like there was a la carte. So you had options on what you wanted.
Let's say, for instance, that would bring the sale of my home. Maybe a CMA is $195. Like that would bring the sale of my home down to $3,000 or $4,000. But I have to pay that $3,000 or $4,000
even if you
no matter what.
It. Yeah.
Even if I don't sell it. And
nobody likes
deterrent. Ooh, deterrent.
So sellers, instead of $3,000 or $4,000 out of their pocket, they will for sure pay 5% only if it sells.
For a price they're happy with. It's the best business guarantee in the universe. Is the amount of effort and work and money that a realtor will invest with you, and you literally pay them nothing unless they do exactly what you hoped they would do.
Yeah,
that's the truth. Like it's quite the guarantee. Something I want to touch on here because it came out this week was about open offers being on realtor.ca. So the end of blind bidding. This will be a pretty cool clip to put out there. Yeah. So open offers, Darryl. We talked about this a little bit. When blind bidding was all a big thing in the news because people were going in and they were overpaying. The highest bid would be, 200 grand over asking. The second place guy was like 5 grand over asking. And so everyone's like, well, that's crazy. It's causing unnecessary inflation in housing prices. It's unfair to the buyer, yada, yada, yada. Sellers obviously are like, well, we want to get the most amount of money for my home. The buyers want to pay 200 grand over asking. Let them pay. That's what they think it's worth. Who's to say that they're wrong? And of course, buyers want to be protected. And there's this debate because the consumers are being protected as the sellers through in Ontario our Real Estate and Business Brokers Act and whatever else it's called in other provinces. They cannot disclose what offers are. So open offers came up with a solution that said we're going to allow people to have the ability to decide as the seller that they will publicly announce how much offers are on the table. So therefore it's a more open, transparent process, yada, yada, yada. This week, Darryl,
TK, can you do me a favor? Can you make an offer for 1.3 million and submit it for me? I won't tell nobody.
So this week, realtor.ca launched the pilot program of open offers. And I want to know what Steve thinks this is going to do for the industry.
Is it across the nation? Is this across
realtor.ca? It's Korea, so it's Canadian wide. Yeah.
Here's the thing where people will for sure start roasting in the comments. So go for it. But do you know why we have closed offers?
To protect the seller and the privacy of the buyer.
To protect, for sure. I mean, the seller maybe.
So the evil agents can make
seller
more
wants to get the most
money.
amount of money.
No, to protect the buyer.
Why?
We have closed offers because I'll give you one of the things. There's many reasons. Privacy, nobody gives a shit about privacy anymore. So don't worry about that.
Not if I'll save 10 grand.
But here's the thing. Here's why there is a closed bid system. Because if I know everybody else's bid, I can just continue to outbid them. And it will drive prices up as it did in Australia, which had a worse system. Yeah. Now let's talk about the actual system.
I think TK said that before too, didn't you?
No, it's a common
Somebody
argument
did,
that the real estate associations have released. I'm not going to pretend that this is not a realtor based
auction
comment,
houses.
It's very
too,
true.
Though.
I have so many buyers when I sell the property or I'm the listing side buyer, whatever, where they say, if I knew that that was the price, I would have offered $5,000 more.
God damn it.
Could drive up prices 100%. But is it really going to drive up prices as much as the guy who overbid? The biggest example I have recently, I have one that was about 3 million. Okay. First place, second place, 3 million apart. But in a residential resale transaction, like $240,000 apart, $240,000 money offered, first place offer. The second place offer was a great offer, but the other guy wanted to pay 240K more. So we took that one.
And let's stop pretending that price is the only factor that matters. We have to stop doing that. So how open offers works, and I have no experience with it, so I'm just going to go off of the webinar. Yeah. I'm just going to go off of the webinar on their website, which is in Australian, so I think it's always funnier. But
in Australian, crikey.
Yeah, exactly. So what you do is you put your house on, then the bids go, and the bids just clip. Now most of the bids go direct to the listing agent, by the way.
You have to pay to make an offer, or can anybody just
make an offer? My understanding, I don't really know how that works, but once you come to you win, now we go offline, we take the buyer and seller and we go, how about terms? How often is that? How often is that going to fall apart? Right? Did anybody think about the dates that the seller wants, or the dates that the buyer wants, or the subjects in the deal, or whatever? I know Toronto, you guys don't.
Why do you not have to get there to accept that offer? Like, don't you have to see the offers as the seller?
It's like Shark Tank. It's like just for show, and then really afterwards based on the price. Figure it out.
Oh, is that how it fucking works?
Yeah,
it's Shark Tank, and half the deals fall apart after. And then let's say, for instance, you don't get to your number.
Who came up with this?
Right? You don't get to your number, then you just go back on the market like regular. So they're even saying, hey, this is for sure not going to sell each house, so you're going to have to go back to the old system that will get the house sold.
Yeah.
Right? So if you miss your, like, basically your offer date and you can't come to terms, it's like, okay, here we go.
They got paid by Korea because Korea wastes money. Like, it's, you know, a 13-year-old kid with rich parents, and basically open offers is just going to have, it's just a gimmick, and it's never going to work. And there's tons of companies who are offering it as a brokerage level. Right? We had somebody, remember, who we were going to have on the show, who's doing that, and I was like, forget it.
Yeah. There's another thing too, though, which is we have knee-jerk reaction from governing bodies to respond to our industry as a result of market condition, not as a result of what is good for the parties involved in the transaction. So if you make a rule because of what the market's doing, like BC's cooling off period, right, that is not fixing the problem. It's just trying to get someone elected. Right?
Tell us about that cooling off period.
Yeah, what's
happening? To change the topic so quick, but I forgot about that. And
more stupid policy.
Is it like,
fuck?
Is it just ignored? Is everyone just ignoring it?
So I'm gonna try and get maybe a little bit really technical with this, but
do it.
I think TK should understand. Darryl, yeah, I don't know. We'll find out. But like, let's say you write an offer. So I had one. We've used it now because it's come back. Right? We started to get unconditional offers. So I accept an offer Thursday night. No, Wednesday.
Hold on, night. Unconditional with a rescission period?
Every offer has a rescission period, conditional or not.
So what the fuck is unconditional?
There's only the rescission period. That's it. Nothing else.
Yeah.
That's a big condition, no?
It's not a condition. Actually, it is a firm contract with the buyer's right to cancel it after the contract is firm.
For any reason at any time.
Well, it's a not FCTBUPAT. Don't you know?
I don't know what that is.
I don't know.
I tried to do the acronym as fast as I could there, with firm contract with the buyer's right to cancel at any time.
Oh,
yeah, right. But, totally. So let's do this with conditions or without conditions, right? Because that's what my options were. So I received the offer Wednesday night. We negotiated Wednesday night. 2 offers, 1 unconditional, 1 conditional till Monday. So now my rescission. So we accept.
How long is the rescission period?
3 business days.
So after what?
Basically the
offer date or the waiver of the final condition?
After the same offer date.
So they're the same offer.
So that, okay.
No? Here's the thing.
Basically.
So one guy's unconditional, The other guy is not. Now, one guy has conditions till Monday. The other guy, they both have rescission period till Monday.
Right.
Right.
Automatically, right? Am I
So
missing something here?
which one now do you think my guy took? The one that was conditional till Monday at the higher price, or the unconditional one that's buyer rescission till Monday at the lower price? Which one would they have picked before, and which one did they pick now?
They would have picked the other guy with the lower price because he was firm, but now they're picking the higher price because they're both conditional to the same time.
It's the same fucking thing.
It was literally the first one I ever dealt with, and it drove price up.
Drove price.
Explain why it drove price up. Explain that to me. Maybe I'm slow here.
It drove price up because they picked the conditional one that was for more money, when they normally, for the $3,000 or $4,000 or $5,000,
they would have sold for less money.
They would have sold it for less.
Yeah.
So they've already driven prices up with the very, very first one, which is what the BCREA, Brendan Ogmanson, actually warned them about. They're like, this is going to increase prices by 2.5%.
That's so awesome.
But you see that? The expectation was that I was not capable of following this logic, but like, who came up with this logic? Okay.
Have you heard of the NDP?
This is so ridiculous. I can't even believe it.
Gets better than that, though. Gets better. Better. So let's say I accept that offer conditional. So I got a buyer rescission till Monday and a condition till Monday.
Does the rescission start after the condition?
No, they start at
acceptance.
So it's there's so much wrong with this. So if I send you a rescission in that, on Saturday, I send you a rescission notice, I pay a fee. That fee does not go through the brokerages, goes directly apparently from the buyer to the seller. Our offers do not take acceptance on, or do not take deposit on acceptance. They take it on firm. So the money, there is no money for me to pay that or for the seller to collect. That's fine. But if I send you a rescission notice, you pay the fee. If I send you a release, no fee.
Because you had a condition.
Because you had a condition.
Yeah.
What's the fee?
I get that. That makes sense.
How much?
$2,500 on $1 million.
So, I mean, let's play a little bit of devil's advocate here. Okay. If you had the same price from both those buyers, who would you advise your seller to work with?
What's the fucking difference? I don't understand.
Because one guy has to pay $2,500 to get out of the deal and the other guy doesn't. Which guy do you think is more serious?
No,
but they don't. Here's the best part,
though. They both.
How do you get the money, TK?
How do you get that money? Where does that money sit?
Here's the best
you
part.
dropped the deal. Can you give me that money?
So if you got three guys, then you say, well, who's willing to give me the $2,500 check right now? I'll give it back to you after 3 days.
Totally correct.
Oh, right? For fuck's sakes. Like, it's not hard enough.
Now it's a bidding war. You give me 10 grand.
Yeah.
You give me a 10 grand deposit check and you get the deal. You give me a $20,000 bank draft. You get the deal. Like, that's how you do it. Come on. I figured out the system.
Yeah, but you can't, because the draft, like, they get their deposit back. And then the deposit,
personal to the seller. Come on.
They get it back. It's in the legislation.
Why do they get
it back? Only but $2,500.
Where's the incentive to the realtor to get that money for them?
Yeah.
Like
no. Work. You're talking logic.
Sorry.
There's no logic.
The brokerages are out of it.
They've mounted.
I didn't mean to.
If the seller needs to collect that and the buyer does not want to pay it, the seller's remedy is to take them to court for $2,500 on $1 million.
People take people to court for less money.
Still, though.
Small claims.
3 years, most court cases in BC. So good luck for your $2,500. It's stupid. It never made sense. It's not protecting anybody. It's ridiculous.
There should be like a registry. And so here, I got a good idea. You can take this one to the BC Council and claim it as your own. There's a registry of buyers, right? And everybody on there, if you're registered and you owe $2,500 to somebody, you're not allowed to go and have an agent represent you to purchase another property until that debt is paid. So when you have a buyer and you say, well, Mr. Buyer, Jim Smith, let me check the registry to make sure you don't owe any outstanding fees for the rescission period. Oh, you're clean. I'm allowed to. And if you don't, then the agents have to pay the $2,500 for them because they put the deal together and got paid their 1.15%.
There should be an MLS for buyers, and it should include, is this person pre-approved, right? All these steps, like
we tried that.
Yes, right. Side by side with the
one
that gives you the real agent reviews.
Hey, what's wrong with
The
agent reviews?
real agent reviews. Put them on the
Well-
MLS beside the listing. There should be a link to reviews. Like this guy
Right to Google
sucks
reviews?
balls. This guy's the
I wouldn't be
worst
opposed to that.
agent I've
Yeah,
ever met.
I bought my house for him, and I just never heard from him again.
Let's talk about one last thing though, real quick.
Okay.
Because I think it was we had he's from out there, Tim Hudak on our show, and his point was because he's working for your association now.
Korea, yeah.
His take on it, and I never had really thought about it this way before, is like for those agents that are doing those bad things, like those Google reviews are showing, agents would actually be tougher on them than the associations are, than the governing bodies are, right? So if it was like we no longer have self-regulation in BC, and as a result, less agents are getting punished. They're trying to act like more agents are getting punished, and that is not the case. There's worse actors now than there ever was before. And when they get hammered, they don't get hammered because there'll be a board of their peers instead of a board of their, or I guess not a board of their peers, a board of random people instead of a board of their peers. Because if TK and I were sitting on that and we found out somebody did fraud, we're taking that guy's license away. And somebody
we know the gravity of the situation.
Totally. And if somebody else is a board member and they only hear these stories and they're an accountant on the side, they're like, maybe a $10,000 fine. Yeah, like whatever. I'm sure he meant well.
Yeah.
Right. So that is another thing that is misconstrued in this industry. The people that are in organized real estate would love to hammer people even more, but there is no appetite for that.
Other realtors, you mean?
Other realtors would love,
right?
hey,
But
man,
the brokers,
if I could get paid full time instead of selling houses to whack realtors doing bad things, I would love that.
Yeah, but the brokerages don't want it. The brokerages are making money off of the model.
It's illegal for us in Ontario to do that.
To do what?
Correct.
To slander or to what's the word?
Another agent?
Yeah, you can't talk bad about another agent.
Criticize?
I don't think is a bad thing. I don't think that is a bad thing. Talking publicly, accusations, cancel culture, all that stuff, it shouldn't be there, right? There's a few guys in Ontario that I'm shocked on YouTube have not been dragged through the coals at your regulating body for talking smack about the industry. I don't think you should talk smack about the industry.
I talk smack about the industry.
I think for sure.
Sorry,
I don't know about the industry, but
individual
players.
Individual peers. Yeah.
But if that were to go to a disciplinary hearing,
you
would want top producing business owner realtors there, because they are going to go, not when my industry and reputation is on the line. Not going to happen. You're done.
Guys get fired at McDonald's for like dropping a patty, and like this is major stuff. These houses, this is a lot of money, and it's like the penalties to be a bad actor. Like, first of all, the brokerage makes money the more people that work for it. I mean, obviously transactions matter, but I don't know that their business model's totally transactional as it is volume of people paying fees, right? So there's no incentive. This is the whole thing, and it's always going to be the thing until these incentives change. Like I think we talked about it yesterday. Like if everybody's incentivized for things to be worth more so that they can get a bigger piece of the pie, like people's job at the end of the day is to make sure somebody buys something for as much as possible. Right.
And I hope next time, Darryl, when you sell your house, you don't use TK and you use purple bricks, and you can be part of the solution.
No, but see, this is a big problem, right?
Less money, less fees.
No, but listen, there is realtors out there that put on a wonderful show in front of all of us that people use, that people would have been better off using purple bricks, right? There's a lot of people that took bad advice from the wrong realtor at the wrong time and bought houses at the wrong time and paid way too much for houses at the wrong time and got into crazy bidding wars on the wrong property at the wrong time.
What if you had to, like, on your business card or on your website, say how many homes you've sold?
Yeah, why shouldn't there just be a ledger?
I wonder why that's not public knowledge. Like, you have to pay a company to do it, which I don't, but I know that I've seen those lists before.
Yeah.
Why?
So our
That should
board,
be a public service.
Yeah,
And I
our
wonder
board-
why the board
Yeah.
doesn't want that
our board used
information
to
public.
publish, like I could log in. It wasn't public, but it was for us to see. I could see
Yeah.
exactly how many MLS points everybody in the top 10% had.
Yeah.
Now they still rank you, but
Yeah.
the points are gone.
You should like have a color. That's like you turn colors as you're selling more and more. Now you're like this red colored realtor. And then like, as you go up, you've made it to the new gold color.
But how
and then all of a
can-
sudden, if you see like a dark black color, you're like, oh, don't.
How
don't
can
go with that guy.
everybody be
He's
the
either
number
new
one
or-
realtor then? If they actually tracked who the number one realtor was.
I'm the number one realtor who runs a podcast at 4 p.m. on Sundays on YouTube.
And
With a partner named Darryl.
am the number one realtor that runs a podcast at 9 a.m. on Sundays.
And check out that podcast. If you haven't checked out that podcast, they have a fantastic guest this morning.
What do you
This
think the
week.
Our very
chances
own
are?
Darryl.
What do you think the chances are that people don't watch both of the shows? Like, it's got to be the same people, no?
The comments some are different. Yeah, there's definitally all the commenters are
Well,
the same.
if they
There's a
are
few
the
cross.
same people, then about 1,000 of them need to go subscribe to my channel today.
They'll all come in. They're all coming over there. You know that.
We could use a
Eventually.
few thousand
We're a year
from
ahead
your
of you.
parent
That's all it
channel.
is.
Yeah.
A bunch of our subscribers subscribed and left and never came back. We have a bunch of those guys, right?
You guys have been crushing it though lately. Like you guys are really like
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Consistency, man. You guys, that the fact that you're putting one of these out even when Darryl's audio sucks and he's in Cuba or wherever the hell he is, like the fact that you're doing the consistency is why people come back. And that's why so
Sure.
many people fail in doing this. There's lots of guys that are trying to toss out podcasts and they toss out 3 this month and then nothing for 6 months and then 2 that month. That's not
Yeah.
the case. Like people want to come back and
They just know where to find us.
They may even
Guarantee
think-
it's
like
there.
on my channel for sure. Half the people think I'm a complete asshole, and that's fine. But if they're
Good.
looking for something to do and they want to hear real estate talk, they're coming back each week. So consistency is awesome. I think what you guys are doing is fantastic.
Awesome.
Thank
We're
you.
on this journey
Appreciate
together.
that.
So it's we all
You
stand
better,
to benefit
like,
from it. So
Click and thumbnail this one up because I want to make sure I get up there on your.
absolutely,
channel.
yeah. Check out. So if you're not subscribed to Steve, I don't know why you're not. He's got great content. and you
Everybody's
should-
he's like
on
number
both
one
channels.
in Canada. He's got like
Right?
8,000 or
Number one real estate
9,000
agent in Canada for edited videos on.
big time.
for edited videos.
Best editing for
Who
real
else?
estate podcaster category. You've
Yeah.
been nominated.
Yeah.
We should have podcast awards.
I missed
Let's
the
do an
cat.
award
I
ceremony,
missed the
and we'll do
cat. You're too serious. now.
We'll do a YouTube real estate award ceremony and have a bunch of categories and we'll get people to vote.
We should do
put
that.
on.
I'm back. The cat's back in my today
Who's
video.
gonna do that?
Daryl, so get going.
I know. I see. I'm so excited. I saw it. I watched it this morning. It was great. It
Awesome. Thank you.
was beautiful. I love your stuff. Steve,
Been a blast.
Steve, it's always a blast. 2 days in a row. And then I'm going to watch both of them tomorrow. It's like, I can't get enough of myself. So it's okay. I'm good with that.
That's why you podcast, right? So
That's it.
There's
I
not
just so
enough
I can
Daryl
hear
out there.
myself.
Sometimes, yeah, you just want
It's
to
like,
listen to your own show.
Oh
just
my
on
God.
repeat.
There's nothing else to listen to but myself. Damn.
Awesome. Steve, we'll see you soon. We appreciate you today. If you haven't liked, commented, and subscribed to our channel, check us out. Make sure you do it. Check out our Canadian real estate show clips. If you thought that this was way too long, again, why are you listening? It's been an hour. You're still here. Maybe you do like us more than you think. But if next time you just want to check out the important stuff, check out our clips channel and everything that Steve and the Tom Story Show are doing. Great guys as well. Thanks, Steve.
thank you.